Jason found out what happens when I'm on that gin and juice.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, occasionally drink gin and juice, and talk about a discography. This week's discography was brought to you by none other than the letter P and Tim.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's me.
Also on the panel, we have the Wild Bill, our unstoppable chihuahua.
Okay, if you don't know what gin and juice is a reference to, please, for the love of God, get to the age of being able to drink alcohol and figure it out.
And of course, I'm Jason. And we're talking International Noise Conspiracy. This is A New Morning. Changing Weather, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
These are our current rankings. If you missed the previous two videos, we are a playlist link channel. Click the playlist link down below and catch the first two videos, so this one makes more sense. But if not, enjoy the ride. So, who wants to start this one off? Bill, you want to start this one off?
I thought you wanted to go back and forth, Jason. Or are you too scared to?
Why would I be scared?
I don't know. You make me nervous about what the hell you're about to do. What are you about to do, Jason? And it was your idea to go back and forth, so you get to start this one.
I see you. All right, A Northwest Passage. I knew this one going in. It was on the Punkorama. I remember it being a weaker Punkorama as well compared to the 90s ones. Still, though, this song kicks ass. Best opening track so far.
You son of a bitch. Best opener yet. It's not as great as. Holy cow. It's not an awesome song, but the energy behind it and everything else makes it spectacular. It's a little bit repetitive at times, but the repetitiveness is almost expected at this point, just in how repeating they get in some of the lyrics.
Well, you got to make them catchy, right?
Oh, yeah. Gotta get on the radio somehow. Not really, but somehow.
Up for sale, 40 Days and 40 Nights since I last got in a fight. Love the crescending guitar riffs.
Good word. Crescending. I thought this one was a great follow up. I thought it had a solid guitar and sound throughout.
Bigger cages, longer chains. The horns threw me for a fucking loop. But it works. It fucking works. We love our horns here at ODD. Hashtag cold quit saxophone solo.
We found out the hard way.
Go check out our Rolling Stones video.
Just when I thought we were going somewhere, the horns felt distracting at times. It felt like a big bundle of noise. Like it sounded like it had so much greatness and potential in it. But I was distracted by the horns. Not to say the horns were bad, but they were just distracting for me.
Would you say it is a conspiracy on an international level of noise?
I would say it's more of noise on the international level, leading to a conspiracy.
All right.
Another victim of salvation that is choking me.
Breakout 2001. I love the vocal delivery on this album. The previous albums were good as well, but this one has more energy or pizzazz or something. And I actually typed out the word pizzazz.
Nice.
How did you spell the word pizzazz? I gotta ask.
P-A space Z-A-Z.
See, I would have spelled it differently.
See,
right.
so when I spell pizzazz, I do P-I-Z-Z-A-Z.
See,
I
I write
do P-A-Z-A-Z-Z.
I write my notes like the easiest way for me to read them. And pizzazz.
That's important. Hey,
Paul's
being
ass.
easy to read is the most important part about these episodes.
Yep.
Because we aren't scripted, but we got to be able to at least attempt to read our notes.
Yep.
We were on Breakout 2001, right? Because you mentioned the energy. My comment, I really love the energy on that one. That was actually my big note.
But did you like the pizzazz?
Big energy guy. Almost on that Cole level.
A body treatise. The drums carry
Treatise.
this. The drums carry this song from start to finish. Amazing drum work.
So my notes were the instruments were good, but overpowering at times. But I was okay with it because I felt like it made sense in this within the context of the song.
Born into a mess. I love the piano that is fighting to be heard in the sea of noise and chaos around it. Top song contender.
So this one, I had some reservations at first, but as soon as that instrumental bridge hit, I immediately just sunk me right in.
Go listen to that fucking piano, man. It's trying its damnedest.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna see this as a whole up to this point in the discography. The keyboards have been phenomenal.
Yes.
Um,
Shout
there were
out
times
Sarah
they were a little
Almgren.
overpowering, but like even when they were overpowering the vocals and the other instruments, it fit. Um, Overall, I've liked the sound of this album significantly better up to this point.
New Empire Blues, remove the vocals and it's a blues bar banger. Add the vocals back in and it's just a fucking banger. Takes a left turn at some point, ends up going a different direction for a bit, but it finds its way back. Top song contender.
My note was just solid instruments and the vocals still happened.
Capitalism Stole My Virginity. Best song title. That
Like
ending,
ever, right?
my wife whipped her head around thinking it was the washing machine was broken.
Okay,
Hey, smash it up.
I'll bring it up later. So thanks for bringing it up, Tim. So is Capitalism Stole My Virginity part two to smash it up?
I mean, the first conspiracy was the first song on the first album, and every song since has followed suit.
I'm not gonna disagree one bit on that. But like this is it like this one, it just this felt like the clean sequel to Smash It Up though.
Yeah,
Even
well, and I don't think it's any
any
surprise that
less
you
or
mentioned
more.
that, and they're the two most popular songs if you go by streaming metrics.
Which is interesting.
Mm.
It's kind of
Uh,
interesting to hear that.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I never saw it as a sequel, just another piece of the puzzle.
Okay. For me, it felt like a clear cut sequel, but again, listening to these albums back to back to back for the first time, being exposed to it is a lot different than over time having heard bits and
Sure,
heard like this was this album. Oh, 2 years later, now I got this album now I'm listening to, which we've talked about at length at other times on this show.
sure.
Last
No, I don't
Century.
know about I don't know about a direct sequel type thing. But yeah, I mean, all these songs are all basically the same
Yeah, it fits the
subject matter.
theme of fuck capitalism.
Yeah.
Um, Last Century Promise. I hated that fucking squeaking throughout the song. It completely ruined the song for me. Having a squeaky ending for Virginity was fine, but having it show up randomly throughout the song was just too much. The instrumental section was pretty good, but like that squeaking just pissed me off.
on that same note, my notes were I'm not sure about the whining guitar. Um, it
Sure wasn't
just
squeaking.
it was kind of solid, but it wasn't as solid as this album has been up to this point. This I would say is probably my low point.
You do this every time you get drunk, and then you like, oh, are you scared to go back and forth? And then we go back and forth, and we're like almost on the same page every
Hey,
time.
you mentioned it. You brought it up first.
Just saying.
You brought it up first, final.
Dead language of love. You get that sense of urgency, loud garage rock bleeding through your speakers again. Until the last minute or so, then you get some weird, almost Western sounding vibes. I should have. I'm gonna circle that in case y'all steal
So
a top song
my
contender, and
my
I gotta
note,
back up.
I said this was all right, and I'm just saying this for the second half of the album. The and it could be just a streaming platform or how the sound was recorded and posted onto the platforms. So I listed on YouTube. People that don't know, and
Not the best sound
the
quality.
endings of all these songs had like 20 to 30 seconds of whether it be radio static,
Yep.
whether it be something else going on like a broken washing machine, like
On the original CD, they would set it up to where you remember when you could do backwards tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a body treatise will end and it'll have 30 negative seconds of that weird intro. So if you're listening to the album as a whole, you get it. But if you're just skipping tracks, all that stuff's gone. And how that's translated to streaming has been interesting. They don't have everything.
I didn't
Um,
have that. I didn't have, but I was listening to like Spotify.
sure.
I
see,
think they missed
yeah,
the.
on YouTube I got like the 20 to 30 seconds on each one, whether it was just like a weird radio static or like some
Yeah,
odd noise coming through.
well,
Nah,
and
I
the
got the
album is
squeaking.
usually a lo-fi remix of the song you're about to hear.
Okay.
They'll take like a section and reverse it, and then it's real lo-fi and it kind of builds in volume until that new track hits and then you're in the song. It's an interesting concept that I don't know has translated well into the streaming world.
There's a lot of
Um,
lost art in the streaming age.
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
so we could talk at length at the lack of the art of actually making an album nowadays, but that's a whole mess
that's the
of
whole thing.
discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you guys are so close to being done with this one, so
A
Yes, we
new
are.
morning, changing weather. If you aren't chanting along with the "Hey, hey, hey, Independence" by the end of this song, then what are you even doing? Best closing track so far.
Shit. Well, oh hell yeah. I love the guitar and everything about this song. Best closing track in the discography.
Ooh, not the discography.
No, I'll say discography. I stand
I
by
wouldn't
that.
say that. I wouldn't say that.
That hill I will die on.
Okay.
I'll let you. I mean, there's no wrong answers, you know.
Yeah, at least we're not arguing like the worst closing track in the discography. Then Tim's like, wait a minute.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hold up.
No, I think you guys covered the songs pretty good. Um, yeah, the album is just noisier in general. They amped up the distortion. A lot of the tracks are in the red. Like they're just pushing a lot of uh, distortion on this. And then where the last couple albums, like where each song has its own uh, subject matter, this one always felt to me a more cohesive thing. Where yeah, for the most part, like you can pick different things out of each song, but overall, this really does seem to be a jab at consumerism, basically. Like Up for sale, of course. That's us, you know. Um, Bigger cages, longer chains is another work song. Breakout is another um, sex positivity song. Um, as is a body treatise. Born into a mess. That's kind of like, yeah. It's an interesting look at our economic policies. New
And
Empire Blues, same. You got capitalism, you've got colonialism, you've got all kinds of great stuff there. Um, Before I finish that out, let me just throw out a couple things that they also did around this time. They put out a Your Choice Live series album, um, which is great. And then they also did the Oslo Jazz Festival. Um, so the Your Choice Live is worth it for they do a cover of the Stooges TV on here at the end of Smash It Up. And the speech leading into Capitalism Stole My Virginity is an amazing commentary about the Scorpions. And then the Oslo Jazz Festival. I didn't even know this came out. I was at Record Store Day, and this was just in the bin. It wasn't on the list or anything, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that is mine." I do have the CD as well. This is an edited version. It takes out the in between song banter, and I want to say is missing a couple songs. But it does have a cover of Body Heat, which I believe it. No, it doesn't say who. I don't remember who does that song, but it's the only place you can get them doing that. And since it was a jazz festival, they basically do their set, but they have somebody just playing saxophone over every song, improv style. It's kind of interesting. And yeah, if you like the band, I highly recommend those. Those are both really fun releases. And yeah, Capitalism Stole My Virginity is, I mean, yeah, let's market that to America, right? um, Distasteful, ugly, and cheap. That is how you make me feel. Love that song. It's a highlight. Breakout 2001's a highlight. Up for Sale's a highlight. I really like Dead Language Love. I like every song on this album. Like Bigger Cages, Longer Chains, New Morning, Changed Weather. Yeah. Um, you mentioned Last Century Promise had a bunch of stuff in there that kind of turned you off to the song, and I can see that. I think that ties in with the overall noise of the record, but I find that chorus will get stuck in my head almost every time I hear it. About an hour later, that thing's just stuck in there.
oh yeah,
I
if you
like
heard
that
like
song.
a live version of that song, it would still be a fantastic song.
Yeah, I think this was the first album by the band that I purchased day of release. Um, and yeah, they this time you get some internet reading suggestions and a much more concise manifesto. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like what they're doing here. I like what they're
So,
doing.
so I'm just curious, Tim, was there any major production changes between these last two albums and the first one, or
No, no. This one has more studio musicians on it,
okay,
but they're all being recorded in Sweden. And I think the first one was literally done at their house, and then the second one I think was in a studio. Let me double check here real quick.
okay. So it just I felt like I was picking up different production stuff. I could have just been.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Yeah,
say. So this could be a home recording as well.
so I'm just because again, I mean, that's the thing, especially with the age of digital, right? Like
Hmm.
you might have recorded it one way, but how it gets conveyed over the internet after. X number of processings by processors
Right, and
can definitely
compressions and
change. Say
yeah,
compression expansion X number of times
right.
can can change how it
Converting to
sounds.
this file, that file, etc.
I'll say I think that was that's the best sounding record so far production wise. It sounded
Okay.
very sharp, very clear. It was
That's it.
noisy, but it was very clean noise.
See, that's interesting because I know where I rate it production wise in the discography. But again, that could be it could be because you said you're listening to Spotify. I was doing mine off of the YouTube playlist, so it could be how
That could have been somebody
because we were just
burning their
saying how it
CD.
got uploaded. I mean, the version I listened to was from the International Noise Conspiracy upload page, which could be them, or it could be just some fan uploading shit under the name. I fully acknowledge that, but you know,
It was a
it's
very
interesting to
clean
see.
sounding record to me, production wise. I thought it sounded fantastic. So briefly, let's go through Bigger Cages, Longer Chains.
Hell yes, let's.
I don't have many notes. I just have it's basically more of the same from the previous record. Waiting for Salvation and Beautiful So Alone are my highlights. The Bigger Cages song, the horns didn't throw me off this time. I knew they were coming. Still a great fucking song. Baby Doll, I wasn't a fan of. Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same. Like, if you like the record, you're going to like this EP.
Bill, did you listen to it?
So I heard a couple ones off of this one. I didn't hear Beautiful or Baby Doll, but I heard the last three, and then Bigger Changes, I assume would be similar to what I heard on the other album.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. I know for me, of of the latter three, Textbook was my high point. Um, yeah,
Okay.
Jason alluded to it, or not alluded, he literally mentioned it. It's more of the same stuff. Nothing new or exciting going on for me. Nothing overly noteworthy. I mean, I did like some of the stuff that they had going on with one word, so not working, but it wasn't anything that I won't say too much on that front. But
I got a top
it,
song from it.
I'm not going to say too much to spoil anything later down the line because Jason's, plays mean.
Of course.
Uh,
Of course.
That's why I'm not
it,
saying which song's the top song.
yeah, that
Because you play mean.
you
So yeah, there were
bullshit.
three singles from this album cycle. Of course, Capitalism Stole My Virginity, and it's got two bonus songs on there, Ever Felt Cheated and United by Haircuts. United by Haircuts is absolutely a top song contender. And then Up for Sale's got Weighing War on Coma and Written on the Bourgeois Body, also both bangers. Um, and then the third single is this extended EP, Bigger Cages, Longer Chains. So that's the first track. Um, Baby Doll, I'll say, is originally a Pharrell song. You guys remember NERD? Okay.
Not here.
So Pharrell, like one of his first forays into rock music in the early 2000s was called NERD. And the first album, was pretty good. It's got some good songs on there, including Baby Doll. So it was really cool to hear them cover that, like they were paying attention to what was going on around them. Um, but other than that, yeah, I mean, these are bangers. Waiting for Salvation and A Textbook Example are incredible songs. The quote for Bigger Cages, Longer Chains here is "Never Work" by Anonymous. It's words to live by. Um, yeah, love this EP. I go back to this all the time. Um, yeah, great bonus tracks. A couple top song contenders here.
Oh, top songs is going to be rough.
I don't
Gonna be
think it'll be
fun.
as rough as you're worried about.
Oh, I was paying attention to what Tim just said. For
I
those
mean,
of
so
you
was
that
I.
don't know who are watching this video, when we do our top songs, we don't allow repeats. So somebody can steal your top song. So
Make you work.
yeah, I
Like you have
believe
to do that cerebral stuff.
there's going to be some thievery going on in top songs. All right.
Oh,
Well,
and I will point out that the cover you got for Bigger Cages, Longer Chains there is the CD. But if you notice, the vinyl actually has a different cover.
I like that
Kind
better,
of cool.
actually. I
And
like
then
that better.
the hand is on the back and the front. Oh
Well,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just going to
They
say
just
it
kind of
now.
cut it.
When we do Is It Art, we're going off the images that I have
Oh, I know,
because
I know,
that's what's
I
posted
know.
in Discord. You guys
I'm
have a
just
I mean, I
throwing it
like
chance.
out
the
there.
Bob Ross looking thing, but that's
The
okay.
Well,
vinyl's
you
got
send
a
me that
better
image and
cover.
we'll add it to the Is It Art. We'll have a surprise Is It Art entry. Bob Ross.
Yeah. Angela Davis, but okay.
Well, I haven't
Still
seen
Bob
it.
Ross in
All
my
I heard was
heart.
Bob Ross. Happy little capitalism.
Yeah, right.
All right, Tim, you up to guess.
Oh, I'm guessing this one. Woo. Well, I think Bill's gonna have it number one.
That would be incorrect.
Number two then.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sticking with that first album bias. I love it.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
fucking riding high on it,
He's
man.
still doing that. Seven Spires. Hashtag first album bias.
yeah.
That's
Jason, are you gonna have it number one?
You fucking right. This thing is a
Okay.
damn masterpiece of a record. I love it.
Well, I love it as well, but not as much as Survival Sickness. So it's gonna be my number two.
Interesting. Interesting. You and Bill got the same number two. You and I got the same number three.
Yeah. And we
We
all
all
have a
got
different
different
number
We all
number
have
one.
a
one.
different number one. That's crazy.
It's. I
Well,
honestly think it's
we'll see what
because
happens next, right?
Yeah, let's see what
I,
happens with Armed
for
Love.
me, I think my issue is because I'm hearing so much animals. Just thinking that's what I'm thinking of, but it's not the same level. Whereas that first one, I'm hearing Stones that it's not superior to the Stones, but it's still damn good.
My closing notes for A New Morning says, for the most part, this one sounds like they found their sound. They stand out from all the other garage rock revival bands of the 2000s. So a lot of really cool sounds on this record, a lot of twists and turns. Besides the squeaking shit on the Last Century Promise, the whole thing is fantastic. Oh, but our boy Rick Rubin's coming in here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
2004. That was By the Way, right?
No, By the Way, it was before that. Wasn't By the Way like 2002 or 3?
Maybe. Did Tom Petty put something out in '04?
I think the Heartbreakers may have put something. Rick
We'll get
Rubin
there.
was he did the '94 Tom Petty.
Okay. I think he did all the Tom Petty after that, right?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. We'll get to Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, the last DJ was 2002. Red Hot Chili Peppers was also 2002.
Who produced The Last DJ?
God damn it. I just close out of it.
That's
my bad.
that's an underrated fucking record right there. Underrated Petty record.
It doesn't even show up on the top 10. Producer Tom Petty, Mike Campbell, and George Draculius.
Okay, so they did it themselves
Yeah, the band did it.
with George, who was working for Rick. So,
Man, fuck Rick Rubin. All right. Stick around. Arm Loves next. Be safe and make great decisions.
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.